Zankou, the newest Incantation DPS, is finally here, and after going through her kit, there's actually a lot more going on with her than you might expect. She actually might be one of the most complicated units we've had in the game to this day, but you clicked on the guide for dummies. So I'm going to break down how Zankou actually works, how you're supposed to play her, what team she wants, what you should build on her character, what awakenings you should use, and most importantly, whether she's actually worth pulling for your account. If you like the content, join my Discord in the bio and like and subscribe.
I drown in the tide.
So what is Zankou actually even supposed to do? Well, Zankou is the Incantation main DPS, and the main thing you need to understand is that she has two different forms. Her reality form, and then you have her illusion form, and each one gives different effects. Her whole gameplay is basically switching between two forms to get the most out of her damage. Probably asking, how does the two forms work? Well, let me make this very simple. Her reality form is basically her normal form. This is where she gets her hunt buff, which increases her personal damage. Then you use her E to enter her illusion form. Illusion is basically her powered up state. Her attacks become follow-up damage. She starts applying heart wrench, and she also gives the team extra damage over time effect, which is called DOT for short. So if there's anything you remember in this section, just remember reality is her normal form, illusion is her powered up form. How does the rotation work? It is very simple, very dumbed down. So you would attack like normal, then you enter illusion, use her regular enhanced attack skills, right? Build up your damage over time, which is DOTs, then use her E again, which is her enhanced E, to switch back into reality. Once you do that, you unlock Bloodfest Reverie, which is basically another part of her ultimate. You can then use that and then follow up with her other ultimate, which is going to bring out even more bigger burst damage. So in simple terms, attacking her reality state, use her E, then go in her illusion state, build up the damage, and when illusion is about to run out, you use her E on the way out, then you use both of the ultimates and then rinse and repeat. I know you're probably asking what makes her so special for having two forms. And see, this is where she gets crazy. Her illusion attacks are follow-up damage, and she also applies damage over time effects like Heart Wrench and Vile Ash. She also has a passive that improves Scorch. When your teammates are applying DOT effects or damage over time effects, Zankou can keep Scorch going on enemies. So she's basically doing three things at once: her own damage over time, and a follow-up damage. Now, what is Zankou's best teams? Zankou's main team right now is going to be Scorch. She takes the Incantation slot, so you need a Chaos character alongside her. Your main options are Lacrimosa or Daffodil. Also, Sakiri is really good here because she directly benefits the DOT side of the team. So your basic setup is Zankou, Sakiri, a Chaos character, and then one more support. That is a team I would probably recommend if you already have the pieces, because it actually takes advantage of what Zankou is built around. One other thing to keep at the back of your mind is that Linko's future with Zankou might be very valuable, but I can't tell you guys right now because, well, we don't have Linko's kit or her in game, but just put that in the back of your mind that Linko is going to obviously have a team with Zankou because she actually benefits. A lot of Zankou's damage in illusion form counts as follow-up damage, so Linko should be able to fit with her really well. You can also play her on a break team with Daffodil and a Sight character. It's a different way of playing her, but it gives you another option if you don't want to build around Scorch or don't have the characters to do that. For anyone that invested in Iori, another team you can run is Iori, Sakiri, Lacrimosa, and Zankou. Iori is good because she does heal and also runs on this team as well, so that's something you can add on if you would like. Now listen, things are not all sunshine and rainbows, okay? Here's the biggest problems with Zankou, okay? Probably the biggest thing you need to know before pulling her: Zankou isn't a bad investment character, but she does want specific teammates. For Scorch team, you're looking at characters like Sakiri and the Chaos characters such as Lacrimosa or Daffodil. Not to mention her future follow-up team with Linko obviously requires another limited character. So if you already have these characters, Zankou gets a little bit more attractive. I mean, not even a little bit, honestly, just like gets me on my hands and knees. I might be getting a little bit too ahead of myself. My bad. If you don't, she's still usable, but you're probably going to feel like you're missing part of what makes her so strong. Now, as far as her awakenings, you're probably asking, do you even need any? You probably looked on Reddit and said she's disappointed without any dupes. Well, I can go and confirm that that is not the case. Before anyone starts pulling their credit card out, let me tell you what dupe you do need. Okay, notice how I didn't click on anything? It's because you don't need any dupes. You don't need any dupes, guys. If you were to get one dupe though, her first awakening is one of the biggest ones because it makes a lot of her buff much easier to maintain and increase her strength. Another one you can consider is her A5, which increases the team's break damage, which is very good because it just literally chunks off half of the boss's HP when you do that. Now, if you had to pick anyone, I still recommend you guys going with the A1 because Zankou then gets regular DOT damage in her regular attack form, which, like I said, makes a lot of her buffs much easier to maintain and increases her strength overall, which gives you that on-field DPS vibe. Now, for a weapon, the clear best option is easily her Sig. It gives her crit damage and then gives her even more crit damage and crit damage when she's dealing Incantation damage, which is basically exactly what she wants. The second option you can run with her is Contemplative Cat. That's her next best option because of the crit stat. After that, you can use Fluff of Finance or 4-star options like Win Reverie or Watch Your Head. Now again, guys, I know the console stats are a little iffy, but I promise you it's not that bad, okay? For a console set, you want Crimson Twin Butterflies. That's the Incantation damage set, so it's the obvious choice for it. For your main stats, crit is the safest choice. For the substats, prioritize crit first, then attack, then cycle intensity. So just put it short, basically build her like a normal DPS. Get your crit up, get your attack up, and then worry about your cycle intensity after all of that. Now for skill priorities, you need to go for skill first, ultimate second, basic attack third, and support skill last. Now guys, obviously the real opinion, the real question, the real stuff that y'all obviously is trying to get answered, is she worth the pull? And guys, I'm gonna be honest, I think so far, if you are willing to invest, you still do have to invest. Sorry, not really sorry, but I mean, you do have to invest. If you're not willing to get her sig, let's just say you ain't gonna be able to see that. Which, oh my bro, wait a minute, sir. Zankou, guys, call me crazy. I know I have people that watch the channel that know me IRL, but like, can y'all not say something that's clearly out right there? Okay, you know what, this just went from a guide to a flipping goon. If you guys want to know her city ability, it is basically going invisible to where then you can grab stuff for free. That's basically what it is. Not how like this guy just dropped this and I could grab that. No, she could go into the store and grab that for free. That also means for ping paw height, she can go invisible, and guess what, she can actually grab stuff. It's not like a tutorial where you can time stop, you can't grab anything. She can grab stuff. The only thing I think she can't do though is she can't go through the doors. Like, she can't open the door and go through it, because if so, that would be busted. But overall, if you guys are willing to invest, willing to get her sig, have her characters, at least have Daffodil, you have Iori, you have Haniel, and I think she's a good pick that you can pick up, especially since there's not really that many Incantation, or sorry, Incantation. I don't care no more, especially since there's not that many of those in the game. So this is one of the first units that we're going to be having that. So it might be a good option for you guys to pick up. People were saying she doesn't feel like an on-field DPS, which, guys, if you have her signature weapon, she can be an on-field DPS. Trust me, she can be an on-field DPS. So whatever they were saying, you gotta take that with a grain of salt. And you want to know what's crazy? Not to even like cause a war in the comments or nothing, but I mean, by all means, join the Discord in the bio and debate me if you want. I don't care. Shinku was worse than Zankou, easily. So automatically, if you invested in Zankou, you getting a more bang for your buck than you do with Shinku. Because I'm telling you right now, Shinku is like, you know, I'm not going to even like, let's not even get into this. And honestly, I don't know how this went from a guide to a Shinku ramp when I'm over here worried about Zankou. Again, I'll go over a dedicated video on should you really pull, go over her damage, go over her builds, go over everything you need to know, and then we'll test her in a couple places. It would not be all. So with that being said, guys, main things you need to know when using Zankou: her reality form is her setup for her illusion. Attacking her reality form like normal. Use her E to go into her illusion form. Attack like normal in her illusion form. Then once the timer for the illusion form is going to run out, you use the E on your way out. And then that's when you can use your ultimate, right? Use your 2 ults and then rinse and repeat. Remember, use the teams that I told you: Daffodil, Lacrimosa, or Iori. Daffodil, Haniel, Iori, Daffodil, Lacrimosa, Sakiri, Lacrimosa, Iori. Make sure you use stuff like that, okay? Don't forget that. And go ahead and like, subscribe, and join the Discord in the bio.